All right, and on to the next segment.
Fantasy.
Gabe's Fantasy Corner.
This is
Gabe.
what you've all been waiting for. Thank you.
All right, so today in Gabe's Fantasy Corner, we'll be going over our awards through the All-Star break. So we're going over MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Most Improved, and we also created a first and second all-fantasy team.
Yes, we did.
So, Gabe, you want to start with the MVP?
Yeah. All right. Here I go. For MVP, I've chosen fairly obvious Nicole Yokic. He's averaging 56% from the field, which is a career high. He's averaging 88% from the line, 27, which is also a career high, points, 11 boards, 8.6 assists, and 1.6 steals. He's actually top 5 in steals this year.
Insane. At the center position to get top 5 steals.
With like a half a block a game.
Solid numbers. I don't think anyone is close to him in
Nowhere
fantasy.
near it.
That's why I have him for MVP also. If you snagged him in the first round,
Congratulations.
probably 7th or 8th pick overall,
Yeah.
you got a steal. All right, Gabe, on to Defensive Player of the Year. I think our choices will be probably similar.
Yeah. I think this is kind of unanimous. I've picked Miles Turner from the Indiana Pacers as my Defensive Player of the Year. He's averaging 3.5 blocks, steal, only 6.5 boards, but those blocks, you can't ignore them.
Yeah, and those defensive stats are hard to find. When was the last time someone averaged 3.4 blocks a game?
You know, I have no idea.
Yeah, like 3.4 blocks a game is insane. We haven't seen it in a while. Plus, he's getting another steal on top of it.
Yeah.
It's crazy defensive numbers. If you got him, also, another guy in the draft that was a steal.
Yeah.
On to Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Gabe.
So, I decided to give a little bit of love to Tyrese Halliburton for my Rookie of the Year. His stats don't exactly jump off the page, honestly. He's shooting 50% from the field, 83% from free throw, 2.5 threes with 13 points, 5.5 assists, 1.5 blocks, on only 1.5 turnovers. Now, in the last week, though, or last 2 weeks, is where most of my decision-making comes in for this. He's averaging, he's top 11 over the last 2 weeks. He's averaging about 19 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, with about 2.5 steals and a block, I think, with low turnovers. And that's just amazing to me. I know Lamella's also balling out, but my pick's Tyrese Halliburton.
And that's a good pick. Tyrese doesn't hurt you anywhere.
No.
Which is one of the great things in fantasy.
Love him.
He's a great player. I wanted to pick him, but I couldn't pass up Lamella's stats.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Lamella this year is having a crazy year for a rookie.
Crazy.
He's shooting 45% from the field, which isn't great, but better than Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
80% from the line. He's hitting 2 threes a game, 15.8 points, 6 rebounds, 6.3 assists with 1.6 steals.
Yeah.
Those numbers are hard to come by.
And Anthony
Rookie or
Edwards,
not.
Field goal percentage is basically my weight. So.
Now we're going to move into Most Improved Player.
Yes.
So take it away, Gabe.
My most improved player, it would have been Christian Wood, but he hasn't really played that much. You know, he's missed the last, 11 games or so, 13 games?
He's missed a lot of time. I think that's partly the Rockets trying to tank.
Yeah. My pick for most improved player is Julius Randle. He's shooting 48%, 80 from the line, which is a career high. Hitting 2 threes a game, 23 points, 11 boards, and almost 6 assists and a steal. I believe all the counting stats are a career high for him, which is very impressive and something you don't see too often from a guy who's already an established scorer in the league. He was averaging about 19 points.
And he's been in the league for quite a bit.
Yeah, he has. This is like 6th or 7th year.
I think he was drafted 2014?
Yeah, 2014. He broke his leg.
Yeah. So for him to have production in this in year 7 is insane.
Yeah.
I picked someone different. I know a lot of people would pick Randall or Wood. I personally picked Terry Rozier.
Yeah.
Now, Terry Rozier, his numbers don't jump up that high from year to year. I think it was a 3-point increase. He's hitting a lot more threes. But he's hitting 3.4 threes this season, 20.5 points, 3.8 rebounds, 3.2 assists with 1.4 steals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this made him a must-have fantasy player.
Yeah, he's been amazing. There was a stretch there where he was like a top 5 fantasy player.
Yeah, he's done crazy numbers, and no one really expected this out of him.
No.
Especially with the Hornets, the better player last season looked like Devontae Graham.
Yeah, I know I didn't expect it.
Yeah, and you thought maybe Lamella coming in would take away from his production. Mm-hmm. He's played really, really well.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm giving him most improved.
All right, well, next is going to be the all-fantasy first and second team, and I'm going to start. My point guard pick is going to be Stefan Curry. I think that's a rather obvious pick for the point guard position, at least. Steph is currently sitting at second on the Yahoo Fantasy boards, and he's averaging on the year 29.7 points with 5 threes a game, 5.5 rebounds, and 6 assists with a steal and a half about. And he's shooting 93% from the line on 5 attempts a game.
Solid numbers.
Solid numbers. What you kind of expected from Steph this year. But regardless, he's my pick for point guard.
All right. I also have Steph for my first team point guard. Mm-hmm. The way we did this is basically, it's not going to be exact positions. We did it as positions they have in fantasy. Mm-hmm. Just wanted to put that out there. So for point guard, I also have Steph.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
4.8 threes, 29.7 points, 5.5 rebounds, 6.3 assists with a steal and a half.
Solid numbers.
Can't find that anywhere.
No. Next is going to be shooting guard, and I have James Harden. I had Bradley Beal at first, but, it's James Harden. That's hard to argue. He's averaging 25, 8, and 11 off of good efficiency. 48%, which is something he wasn't really doing last year, 44% last year. And he's shooting well from the free throw line, hitting threes. And over this last stretch with Kevin Durant out, he's averaging about 30 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. So he's averaging a triple-double.
Yeah.
Hard to ignore and hard to put Bradley Beal over that.
I think most people thought his numbers would fall when he went to the Nets. Of course, Kevin Durant being out helps his numbers. Mm-hmm. But he turned into the best passer in the league. He's leading the league in assists.
Yeah.
11.1 per game, 3.3 threes, 25.3 points, 7.8 boards. With a steal, he's putting up solid numbers. I also have him as my shooting guard for first team. Just a great season from James Harden.
Great season. Showing more dimensions to his game.
Not many people saw the assist coming.
Yeah. Next up, I have, for small forward, Kawhi Leonard, who frustrated me deeply. I did not realize how he was not going to be sitting out of games this year. Otherwise, I would have picked him. Kawhi Leonard's shooting 51% from the field. Super efficient. 87 from the line. With 2 threes, 27 points, 6 boards, 5 assists, and a steal and a half a block. On under 2 turnovers a game as well. Basically playing as their point guard. Very impressive season from Kawhi, and he's my first team all small forward.
All right, now here's where we differ. I picked LeBron, and this may be a little biased.
Yeah.
Because Kawhi is having a great season. LeBron, though, played 6 more games than Kawhi. You're talking with 25 points per game. That's a lot of points that you're missing out on. Just strictly in games. Because Kawhi had the whole COVID protocol. And that sucks to bring in, but I'm bringing it in. He had a couple injuries that made him sit out games. LeBron's only sat out 1 game this season. LeBron is hitting 2.4 threes per game. I don't think many people expected out of him. At the beginning of the season, he was shooting over 40% from 3. Those numbers have dipped a little recently just because all the focus on defense is on him.
Yeah.
25.8 points, 8 rebounds, 7.8 assists with a steal a game.
Pretty good. Good.
It's hard to find that. And shooting 50%. His free throw percentage isn't great, and neither is his turnovers. But he's playing nearly every game. Not sitting out anything. Except for that 1 game against the Kings. But I think he's putting up solid numbers, and he deserves a first-team nod.
Respectable. It could go either way, honestly. Kawhi season ranks 8th. LeBron's about 14th. Could go either way, though. LeBron's a very valuable fantasy piece to have. For power forward, I have Joel Embiid, who is a center, but in fantasy, he does fall under the power forward slot. So Embiid's hard to pass up on that. He's top 5 in fantasy this year, shooting 52% from the field, which I believe is his career high, but I don't want to put that out there and it be wrong.
I think part of the reason that he's shooting a career high in field goal percentage is He's taking less threes.
And he has more of the right pieces around him, so he can go to work with more spacing.
Yeah.
He's averaging 30 points a game. 30 points a game with about almost 12 rebounds, 3 assists, and about a steal and a block and a half on 3 turnovers. Turnovers are he has a lot of turnovers, but he handles the ball a lot, so, that comes with it.
I think a good thing to mention, I also have Embiid at power forward, is he's shooting at 86% from the line.
Yes, he is.
And talking about a guy who draws a lot of fouls will
impressive.
really bring your free throw percentage up. Having a great season. I think he deserves to be first team.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Last week, he's averaging 35 points and 15 boards.
This last week, he went crazy.
Yeah.
Even on Gobert.
Yeah.
All right, move on to center. Gabe?
Center is going to be pretty obvious. I'm sure you could see this coming, but it's going to be Nicole Yokic. We already went over his stats, but just for a little bit of a refresher, he's averaging 27, 11, and almost 9, and he's top 5 in steals. And that's impossible to find. You can't find that anywhere else. These numbers are very unique, and whoever has them in their fantasy league, pat yourself on the back for grabbing them.
Jokic is an amazing player this season. He's shooting a career-best 57%.
Insane.
I don't think anyone saw this from Jokic. Also shooting 88% from the line.
Yeah.
It's insane numbers. Like, he's not hurting you anywhere but possibly turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
But crazy numbers in almost every category.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that should move us on to the second team.
Yes.
Gabe, you want to start us off with point guard?
Yes. So for second team, I've picked Damien Lillard as my point guard. He's averaging crazy numbers as usual, about almost identical numbers from last year, actually. He's averaging 4 threes, 30 points, almost 5 boards, 8 assists, and about a steal. Again, almost identical to last year, except his efficiency's down a little bit in field goal percentage, and it's up a little bit in free throw percentage as he's shooting 93% from the line. Chase, what do you have?
I also have Lillard. Now, a good point to bring up with Lillard is how many threes per game he's hitting right now.
Crazy amount.
He's hitting 4.3 threes a game. Almost a Steph's number. Insane. 29 points a game. Almost at Bradley Beal's points per game.
Yeah.
With 8 assists.
Yeah.
And a steal. These numbers are hard to find. Almost a first-team nod, honestly.
Almost.
He's having a great season. If it wasn't for Steph absolutely going off, then he'd be first team.
So for shooting guard, I have Bradley Beal, who has cracked the top 10. He's now 9th in the season ranks for Yahoo Leagues. He's shooting an efficient 48% from the field, 90 from the line, to go with 33 points a game, 5.5 boards, about 5 assists, and 1.5 steals. He's hitting only about 2.3 threes a game, which is almost a whole 3 down from last year. But, man, is he working this year. And he's single-handedly almost carrying the Wizards to a playoff spot.
Yeah, and
very impressive.
48% from the field, which isn't bad.
Nah,
still pretty good.
When you're taking, how many shots? 24 shots a game.
Yeah, insane. He's having a great season, leading the league in scoring. I put him at small forward, but I don't think it really matters. No. Bradley Beal is amazing this season. Mm-hmm. I think he's a must-have in your list.
Yes, definitely. And now for my second team is where I put LeBron. LeBron is, again, averaging 26, 8, and 8 with a steal and 2.5 threes. Turnovers are a little bit of a problem, but he's LeBron James. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Shooting 51% from the field, very efficient. A little bit of trouble from the line, but that's to be expected. 69%. Very solid season from him. Very solid season.
All right, and now here's where we differ. This is a hot take. I have Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
Now, Zach LaVine is having a great season. I know what people are thinking.
Fantasy-wise.
You left Kawhi off? Yes, I did.
Yeah, you did. I noticed.
Zach LaVine is shooting 52% from the field this season. Mm-hmm. I just think everyone should appreciate his numbers.
Yeah.
Shooting 3.5 threes, 29 points per game, with 5 rebounds, 5 assists, getting a steal a game. These numbers are pretty good. I wanted to throw him in there to show people how great of a season he's having.
Yeah. No, he's doing amazing. For power forward, I'm going to put Giannis Antetokounmpo, currently ranked 11th in Yahoo Leagues. He has averages of 55 from the field, of 66 from the line, which is troublesome. However, he has 29 points a game, 12 rebounds, 6 assists with a steal and a half and a block and a half. which is crazy. Over the last couple weeks, he's been going like 33, 12, and 5. Absolutely going off. And, yeah, he's my pick for power forward on the second team.
I also have him for power forward on my second team. He's hitting a 3 a game, shooting good numbers. It's hard to find those defensive stats.
Yeah.
A steal and a half and a block and a half is super valuable in fantasy.
Indeed.
And Giannis is having a great season. Nobody's talking about him because the Bucks are kind of boring. It's the same story we've heard.
Fatigue, you know?
Yeah, same story we've heard for the past 3 years, right? Giannis doing really well, but what can they do in the playoffs? He's still having a great season.
Great season.
29 points, almost 12 boards with 6 assists.
Yeah.
He's choice in power forward.
For the center of my all-fantasy second team, I have Nikola Vuchovic, who is shooting 48% from the field, 85% from the line, hitting almost 3 threes a game, and he's going 25, 12, and 4 with a steal game and only a half a block a game. With only 1.7 turnovers, by the way, which helps you. And, yeah, putting up super solid numbers, but just not quite on par with someone like Jokic or Embiid.
Yeah, I also have Vuchovic. He's having a great season. I think he's ranked 3rd right now.
Yeah, he's ranked number 3 in Yahoo leagues.
Yeah, hitting 3 threes a game at the center position. I can't think of another center who does that at top value. 25 points, 12 boards. Great season.
Yeah, he's basically he reminds me a bit of Sabonis with better efficiency in threes.
Yeah, he's a great player. If you got him also, I think fantasy put him a little low on their rankings at the beginning of the season. Great player to have.
Good guy to snag in the mid rounds.
Yep.
So now we're gonna go to stashes because, as you know, the All-Star break's coming up, and a lot of these players who have been sitting out for the past couple of weeks, months, are starting to come back. And I got 5 names on my list right here. The first being Deandre Hunter, who for the season before he was out, he was averaging 51% from the field, 87% from the line, hitting about 2 threes with 17 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, and about a steal and a half a block on low turnovers. Any thoughts on DeAndre Hunter?
He's having a great season, showing people that he was worth that high pick in the draft. If he's available on your free agency, which I don't think many people he'll be available for.
Yeah,
but stash him away.
Yeah, snag him as soon as possible. Next guy here, not quite on that same level, but Marcus Smart. He's averaging terrible efficiency, 39% from the field before he went out, with about a 3.5 per game, 13 points, 3 boards, 6 assists. Now, where most of his value is going to be in that 1.8 steals a game, because his assists will go down. Kemba's back. But yeah, defensive specialist who hits threes, you can't do much better than Marcus Smart.
And another solid guy to stash. He should be due to come back almost immediately after All-Star break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just about.
So he's a great stash. Someone, if you have extra injury spots on your team, all these guys we're mentioning are great pickups if they're available.
Yeah, definitely. Now, this guy's probably not on your wire. I'm going to be honest. But Christian Wood's coming back from injury. And I just wanted to read off his stats real quick. He's shooting 56% from the field, 68% from free throw, which is way below what it was last year. But he's making it up by hitting 2 threes a game, 22 points, 10 boards, and 1.5 blocks and a steal on less than 2 turnovers a game. Super great player. Doubt he's on your waiver wire, but if he is, it goes without saying, pick him up. Jesus.
Yeah, I don't think he's on anyone's waiver wire.
98% owned, though, so maybe those
2%
2-man leagues. Hey.
If Christian Wood, now is the time to buy low on him.
He's a buy low target.
He hasn't played 13 games.
Yeah.
So he's good buy low. He's going to put up great numbers. He's going to be the only one on that Rockets team, especially with them trying to get rid of Oladipo.
Yeah. Now, the next guy I have on my list is someone I whiffed on in the waiver wire. Karis Levert. Before he got hurt, he was shooting 43% from the line, or the field, 76% from the line, 2 threes a game, amazing scoring, 18.5 points a game, with 4 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal, and a half a block on 2 turnovers a game. If he's on your waiver wire, pick him up quick. He's plus 9% owned in the last week in Yahoo leagues. He's now 78% rostered. So he's still on some waiver wires, and if he's there in yours, pick him up.
Yeah, and I believe the Pacers just said he's practicing again.
Yes, he is.
And he should be due back really soon. Surprising for the cancer scare.
Yeah.
But looks like everything's good, and
Happy
he's set to
for him.
return. He's going to put up big numbers for the Pacers.
Yeah.
I think he'll be the best scorer on the team.
Without a doubt.
Someone that could create his own bucket. That's what they're missing right now, especially with TJ Warren out basically the rest of the season.
Yeah. Not a stash.
He's going to put up great numbers for the Pacers. If he's there on your waiver wire because someone didn't have an injury spot, you should pick him up now.
Yeah. Agreed.
He's a must-have player
Yeah.
in all leagues.
Now, one guy to stay away from that may get you sucked in from name value, Kevin Love. Kevin Love is going to be coming back after the All-Star break. Now, the problem I have with Kevin Love, he's on the Cavaliers, who are absolute doo-doo this year. He's not going to be playing every game. He's going to be having limited minutes as he works his way back from his injury. And then once he's full capacity again, he's going to be sitting. He's not going to be playing back-to-backs, I believe. And he has shutdown risk, too.
Yeah, and Cavs really want to play their young players. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at Taurean Prince. You're looking at Cedi Osman, probably playing the power forward position. Mm-hmm. All these guys are going to get more minutes than Kevin Love. There's a reason Kevin Love keeps on getting injured and doesn't play much of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, the injuries might be true, but they're sitting him out for extended periods of time on purpose. He's not getting the looks he'd get on a good team.
Yeah. And you know if he gets as much as a paper cut playing for the Cavs, he's going to be sitting for like another 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, he is a shutdown candidate.
Yeah.
Another guy I think you should stay away from, D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, D'Angelo. I think he might be shut down for the year, honestly.
D'Angelo could be out for the season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see the Timberwolves trying to rush him back, especially when they have the worst record in the West. Disappointing season for the Timberwolves.
Extremely.
They're 7-29 right now. Worst team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to get shut down.
Yeah, agreed. I would stay away from D'Angelo Russell. However, I think he has a brighter future than a lot of people think, but not this year, so just stay away from him.
Yeah. If anyone's trying to offer you D'Angelo in a trade, do not accept.
Yeah, no.
He is not a chip in piece.
And if you can find a way to deal him away for like a late round guy, do it.
Do it. Any guy that brings you value.
Mm-hmm. That's it for Gabe's Fantasy Corner. I went over all
Corner.
my names, and I'm glad you guys got to hear them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was a good week this week. We went over a lot in Gabe's Fantasy Corner.
Mm-hmm.
And on to the regular podcast.